It's not cool if I have this.
Well, is it that thing over there? I don't know. Okay. That's not what I have. That's like that looks like. Yeah, it's like something. I just don't know what's in my room.
All right. So we're going to do just a little bit of an overview of what UDL is. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because it doesn't really matter. But just it kind of is helpful to know where this sort of movement came from because it does really tie into differentiation and really to the blended learning stuff that they were talking about today. So who's heard of UDL before? I had not. The first time I heard it, I was like, what is that? I wrote it down, looked it up. This is really cool. So hopefully you'll find something on here that's helpful. Has anyone heard of universal design? Because where universal design is sort of an architectural movement, and that's really where like cutaway curves came from, you know, the whole ramps, speakerphones, closed caption TV, just being able to provide access, physical access for all people to as many places as possible. Universal design for learning just took that same concept and moved it into education and being able to learn and really wanting all people to have access to learning. Everybody, there's a lot of diverse needs out there. Some people, you know, are on this end, some people are on this end of the continuum. There's lots of different disabilities. There's lots of kids, different levels of interest and motivation. So that's kind of where this initially came from. So the top part on here, I just kind of have some general stuff about UDL because I want you to kind of understand the concepts. So really, it's curriculum development. So a set of principles designed to give individuals equal access and opportunities to learn. They're really trying to just hit that diverse group of learners. And it's very flexible so that you're not holding yourself to one specific standard. There's ways for you to incorporate different needs. This quote on here because I thought it was just a good example. It says, genuine learning requires much more than physical access. It requires cognitive or intellectual access too. A student with learning disability may be able to see text clearly with just physical access, but has difficulty understanding the assignment or purpose for reading, finding main points, organizing notes, and expressing understanding, cognitive access. Conversely, a student with cerebral palsy may fully understand an assignment and have clear ideas for executing it, which is the cognitive access, but be blocked from expressing those ideas by inappropriate tools. They don't have the access physically. So I think it just kind of emphasizes the fact that it can go both ways. So I have some examples. I had some volunteers who agreed to just read some examples of some situations that kind of fit in UDL. So who has number one?
Pam, a student with learning disabilities for whom English is also a second language, uses tasks, e-reader software to help her complete a reading assignment. E-reader's spoken voice and synchronized highlighting features help her track words on a page, pace her reading, and associate the way the word looks with the way it sounds. After reading the story several times with the spoken voice option turned on, the highlighted speed is set to slow. She turns the read aloud feature off, increases the highlighting speed slightly, and reads the story again. In this manner, she works gradually to increase her reading comprehension and speed.
That's number two. Seth, a student with low vision, whose word comprehension skills are excellent, uses e-reader to adjust the font, style, size, and color of digital text, background, and highlighting to achieve maximum contrast and readability.
Number three.
Digital physical disabilities prevent him from using a mouse or a computer keyboard, uses Connect software with Write Out Loud to gain single switch access to program controls and an on-screen keyboard. In this way, he too can access the writing supports of the program to help him complete his written work. Okay. Here's number four.
Jeremy, a poor speller who does not enjoy writing, uses the auditory feedback offered by John Johnston's Write Out Loud software to engage in the task of writing an English composition. As he types the composition, and it is displayed on the computer screen, the program reads it aloud by word, sentence, paragraph, or letter by letter, helping him to identify sentence construction problems and spelling. When he misspells a word, it flashes on the screen, indicating his error. Using the program's talking spell checker, he calls out a list of suggested words to replace the misspelled word, and if he sees a common one word from the other. Jeremy selects a word when its pronunciation or definition indicates it is a correct word, and completes the composition without spelling errors.
Ellen, an 8th grade student with learning disabilities, finds it challenging to utilize the rich resources of the internet because there's so much information to look at and so many visual distractors. But finding and organizing information from the web is getting easier for her since her school installed CAST eTracker software on its library computer. She signs on, opens eTracker, and types in a research question such as, what did Harriet Tubman do in the Civil War as a nurse? eTracker checks Ellen's spelling and identifies the keywords in her question such as Harriet Tubman, Civil War, and nurse. Ellen presses the search button and eTracker lists 10 websites that match her search criteria. eTracker's interface presents a search engine environment via distracting advertisements and extraneous information. Ellen selects a few sites to visit, goes to those sites, and, using the reading supports of eReader, which she has also opened on her computer, selects the Read feature to have information read aloud to her. eTracker keeps her research question and keywords on the screen, helping her to maintain focus on the nursing aspect of Tubman's life, rather than her role in the Underground Railroad. Ellen highlights and pastes information into the on-screen notepad and generates some of her own notes on the topic. When she finishes her internet search, eTracker stores her research question and keywords, the website she has visited, and her notes so that she can easily retrieve them.
The 7th grade science class, with the help of their teacher, uses Engaging Minds Inspiration software, a concept mapping program, to create a launchpad of selected websites to use when researching the topic of whales. Inspiration enables this diverse group of 7th grade students with varied abilities and preferences to work together to fulfill the goal of the assignment, to find out the best place in the world to film whales for an upcoming movie, and how much such a project might cost. One student, a reluctant reader who does poorly in print-based assignments, excels when it comes to interpreting the data presented in maps and graphs depicting whale migratory patterns. Another student's math skills come to the fore as she analyzes how much it will cost to get the crew to the Gulf of Maine to film humpback whales in action. As the students gather their data, they weave their separate findings into a cohesive whole using inspiration. When their research is complete, another student uses his visual talents to present the group's findings in a dazzling PowerPoint presentation.
So those are just some examples that they have on the website. You can actually find it. But just to kind of, there's a lot of different things that you can use, but it's all using different technology applications to be able to differentiate your curriculum for your students based off their needs, not just students with disabilities. It can be used for a whole class, used for individual students, small groups. So what we're really hoping today is I want to show you 2 sites that have multiple links to a lot of different places. So a lot of the time today, honestly, I want you to mostly spend that time kind of poking around on the websites and seeing if you can find some things that might be helpful for you. You don't need to sit and listen to me talk. So I'm going to show you the first site. The main site, of course, it's blocked off, but it is on here. It's the UDLcenter.org. So if you haven't pulled that up, go ahead and pull that up on your computers. There's one other site that has a lot of UDL things that are tied very closely. It's called CAST. But when you go onto either site, they all link back and forth to each other. So this is kind of the main site to get to everything you need to get to. So when you're on this main place, the first place that I would say you would want to come is down on your implementation. There's UDL Examples and Resources. And what this does is when it takes you into the screen, see, these are the main principles we kind of talked about. So the first principle up there in the purple, it says provide multiple means of representation. And this is that way of presenting information and context in different ways. So this is the what of learning, how we gather our facts and categorize what we see and hear and read. It's identifying letters or words or an author's style. These are all kind of part of the recognition network. So there's 3 major primary brain networks involved in learning: the recognition network, the strategic network, and the affective network. So this kind of hits that first one. This is the what. So when you kind of look through, these are all different guidelines. This is where it doesn't really matter, the details of UDL, but they have different guidelines. So within this multiple means of representation, They're saying you have different ways of providing options for perception, providing options for language, math, and symbols, and providing options for comprehension. So within each of these, and I'm just going to randomly pick one here, clarify vocabulary and symbols is their checkpoint 2.1. When you go into here, on the bottom here on the left is a list of and links to a variety of websites. It tells you the age group it's recommended for, content areas, the cost information, and what technology is required. And there's just a list of all of these different websites. So obviously you can click on one, mathematics glossary. We click on it, and it'll take you straight to, of course I hit the wrong thing on here, obviously. That was not a good choice. Let's try a different one. So this isn't working. Word generation. And so this will take you directly to the site, and then you can play on all of these different sites and see if any of these things will work for you. So obviously you can see just within here, each of these checkpoints will probably have anywhere from 8 to 10 website links. Principle 2, as you go down with the blue, this is multiple means of action and expression. And this is the how of learning. This is the planning and performing, how we organize and express our ideas, writing an essay or solving a math problem. These are all strategic tasks. So a lot of the things you're going to find in here, for instance, goal setting. If you go into here, there's a list, goal setting worksheets, exploring language, helping my students set goals the smart way, setting goals with students. And most of these are all free. There are a few that are with cost, but I think a lot of them that I've seen are actually free, which is nice. The last principle in the green is multiple means of engagement. And this is the why of learning, how learners are engaged and stay motivated, how they're challenged, excited, or interested, and these are the affective dimensions. So a lot of you're just trying to find ways to motivate students and get them interested. So there's a lot of different things. Let's see, minimizing threats and distractions. So within here, you're going to have pace cards, an online reading tool designed to increase your reading rate and decrease distractions. Kind of take some of those distracting elements off the page. So there's tons and tons of different websites, all from this one page. The second place that I want to show you, and then I'm just going to give you time to kind of play, is on this top here. It says resources. So when you click on resources, and then you come down, UDL Tech Toolkit. So when you go to the toolkit, as it thinks about it for a second, and I think this is my favorite page. So on here is just a variety of different free tools that you can use. You've got math tools, audiobooks, research tools, study skills tools, graphic organizers, writing tools, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, as well as just some different strategies. So on each of these, if you click on them, we'll just pick literacy tools. There's another list of websites, all of which you can access from this page. So word magnets. And then it takes you directly to this site, and I've not gotten onto this one, but there's lots of there's flip cards you can do. So it looks like there's, depending on the site, I didn't really research which ones of these are the best ones. But kind of the point is these are 2 sites you can go to which link you to a lot of different options. So these are all different sites for graphic organizers that you can just go to this one page and kind of play around and see if you can find some things. So really what I wanted to give you guys time to do, because when I kind of first found these, I just kind of was going nuts and poking around and really getting in and see if I could find some cool things. But there's so much out there. So the challenge was in the extra space on your handout is just, if you decide you like that first section and you kind of want to explore there, or if you prefer to kind of explore here, use those kind of note section on your handout just to be able to maybe make notation of what you liked so that you have time to go back and look at it later. But I wanted to just give you some time to kind of play around, maybe share back if you're finding some cool things that you'd like to let other people know about. But that was really the design of today's session. Does anybody have any specific questions before I give you playtime? I mean, I don't want you to feel like you have to be able to come back and say what UDL is to have the resources, but hopefully you kind of see where it came from. But I will let you guys just kind of play. Do you have any questions? Or if something looks really cool, I'll kind of give everybody a chance to share out if there's something that you really were excited about. But I know there's a lot of different needs, so just think about if you have specific students, or if you're looking more whole class, or if you're looking more intervention kind of things, hopefully you can find something that would be beneficial for you for the classroom. And I will stop talking.
That's all.